What's going on, guys? We are back, and we are talking about Optic Gaming leaving Rocket League. Shortly after my video came out today, on Friday, Optic announced, or Reynolds, I guess, was the first one to announce, that Optic Gaming has left abruptly, has left Rocket League abruptly, is what everyone is saying around the scene, and that they are out. They're out of Rocket League. They've dropped their three-man roster. On top of that, AyyJayy has left the team and is looking for better options. So let's start it off with the Reynolds tweet, and then we'll kind of break this down. So, unrestricted free agent. Optic has decided to drop out of Rocket League, and this leaves the team exploring options. Myself and Magic Bear will be looking for a third heading into the offseason. Thank you, Optic, for the unforgettable year. Representing the Green Wall was a dream. So, the difference between a restricted free agent and an unrestricted free agent, first off, is unrestricted free agent basically just means they're orgless, right? Reynolds has no org. There's no governing body that owns, I guess, his rights, or I don't know how else to put it. Basically, he's a free agent. He's on no team. It doesn't matter. If he was a restricted free agent, it's basically saying the org will allow you to explore options, but say some other org wants to pick them up, then they would have to talk to Optic and talk about a buyout or whatever. So that's not the case here. Optic is just flat out left. Normally, if you're a restricted free agent as well, you're still paid a salary, depending on the contract terms. But generally, yes, you're paid a salary, and they're trying to basically get a buyout for you. So this is not the case here. Optic has left. They're done. They're out. Seems a little bit of a surprise. They were signed September 26th of last year, so it hasn't been a full year yet for their contracts. So that's when the tweet went out. So they probably signed maybe a little bit earlier than that. So maybe it is exactly a year, but it's doubtful. But it's close. So it's a little bit strange. But on top of that, AyyJayy had some thoughts as well, or a tweet as well. Unrestricted free agent heading to next season. Exploring my options. We'll see what happens. DM's open. So a little bit different. Obviously, Reynolds saying, hey, me and Magic Bear are a duo. We're trying to find a third. And AyyJayy's like, hey, I'm looking for greener pastures, basically. He's trying to find a different team. Who knows? Maybe the three of them come back together if nothing works out. It's always a possibility. And then on top of that, we'll have to zoom this back in a little bit. But Optic finally did tweet out a little bit afterwards that, thank you to the three boys and the coach for representing Optic so well over the past season. Best of luck to what's next. So that is that. Basically, what's going down right now in esports as a whole, a bunch of orgs are losing money and losing money fast. The investments are not coming in because of the economy. I'm not going to speak for Optic directly, but generally, a lot of orgs are backing out of investments when they feel like they're not profitable or they don't feel like they're working out. So I could see why Optic might want to leave right now with the questionable offseason length. Who knows if Optic knows more than everyone else about what's coming down the line or not. Maybe they know stuff and they didn't like it. Maybe they don't know stuff and they didn't like that, right? So they wanted to get out early. Yeah, it's basically just a bad time for esports orgs in general. Pretty much like you look at any esport, a bunch of orgs are hurting or closing down, and it's just the nature of the beast as it stands right now. So, unfortunately, Optic is gone. At the same time that this all happened, FaZe, First Killer, he did an official tweet saying that he is also an unrestricted free agent as well. So he is no longer with FaZe. Again, unrestricted means he's basically a complete free agent. Nothing else matters. So there was that. So on top of this, let's go back to our free agent chart that we talked about just yesterday in a video. And let's bring it up. Let's put AyyJayy on the tiers. We got tier 1 is multiple majors, qualify for the World Championship. Tier 2 is one possible major on the bubble for Worlds. And Tier 3 is no majors, no Worlds. In the last video, if you didn't see it, go back and watch it. No spoilers here. Actually, yes, there's plenty of spoilers. Boom, there you go. Tier 1 so far in NA, we have First Killer and Nolly. Tier 2, we have Sip, Mist, and Calm. tier 3, we have Squishy. AyyJayy, I don't think this is too big of a risk here. I think I'm going to put AyyJayy in tier 1. He basically felt like he had like a contract here. Like they say in sports, when a player is on the last year of the contract, they try and really outperform their contract so they can get a bigger one next year. And obviously that's not the case necessarily here, but it felt like the last year of a contract, AyyJayy. He came out, had a phenomenal season, set records for goals per game in spring split for North America, and really carried Optic, I think, to a major spot. And that's not to say Red Bulls and Magic Bear didn't do their work. They did, but AyyJayy was definitely the difference maker on their team. I'm not putting duos on this list yet. Maybe that'll happen in the future as more teams disband. But if I did, I would probably put Red Bulls tier 2. And it's tough because I feel like a Red Bulls tier 2 is because of like his proven LAN track record. And like he finds a way, right? I would probably put Magic Bear tier 3 or like on the cusp tier 2, tier 3. I think Magic Bear at times he'll outshine Red Bulls, but I don't know. Like I think Red Bulls is barely a better player right now. But the main issue for Red Bulls and Magic Bear, I think, is losing AyyJayy. I'm not sure who they can get because I don't think that is a team that a quality player, a tier 1 player per se, would want to join at this point. If they're looking for aspirations to win a world championship or to at least make a top 8 at a world championship, I don't think you join a team with Red Bulls and Magic Bear, personally. So we'll see how that all shapes up. But it's going to be a tall order for Red Bulls and Magic Bear to regroup, find a third that works, not only works, but also outperforms the 3 individual talents very likely. Because again, I don't think a tier 1 free agent is going there. A tier 2, sure, like I could see that. But I don't see a tier 1 going there. So we'll see how it all pans out, but we'll go back to the main screen to settle this out. But yeah, my Optic game is gone. It was big news. It broke out of nowhere. And we'll see what else comes down the pipe, because right now, North America, a lot of teams are still not saying anything, but I bet a lot more implosions will happen across the board. But yeah, Optic was a surprise. They did really support their squad. Like I know historically they support their first-person shooter games, right? But they brought those guys to boot camps, and it really paid off in spring. So they were putting in the money, the effort, the time to get these guys to a level that was great, and they just barely missed out on a world championship. But I guess that was not enough for Optic, or maybe because of this offseason. Who knows? Maybe they're like, hey, let's get out now. And who knows? Maybe they'll come back in the future. But for now, Optic is gone, and there'll be plenty more roster mania videos to come, because this train ain't stopping. So until the next one, we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.